Welcome back. Look, she already knew. Back to YouTube. Let's see how long it takes us to get grounded again.
All
There we are. Welcome back.
Wait, I didn't think we were supposed to be back until or was it March or May?
It was April. I heard it was April.
Yeah.
So we're back a little early. So I need to watch what I say today, I guess.
Well, maybe all those hackings,
Helped it.
Yeah.
That's right.
We have cupcakes. We don't have the V word.
That's right. Thank you for the reminder.
As silly as it is.
And we're probably soon to not be able to say the word hack or hacking.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
It's just sad. So many people dislike Rumble. And I
really
don't know,
They
have
do.
issues.
And there's really little
I-
issues there. And the feed,
Exactly.
And the feed has really kind of picked up there. No.
I think some people just don't want to jump over that conservative line that if you download or if you go to Rumble and you create an account, all of a sudden you feel like you're a conservative, I think.
That could be because only conservatives are really on there.
Right. It is kind of an echo chamber, though. I mean,
it is an echo chamber for sure. So if you want to hear a different point of view, Rumble may not be where you want to go, but
however, if you want to hear the complete, honesty or truth.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's where to go. And if you want to make sure that, the shows that you listen to aren't censored or muted.
That's right.
That's where you go. So what you might see on Facebook one day here,
mm-hmm.
They might mute some things here, but you'll see the whole thing on Rumble.
Yeah.
Nothing will be muted. Nothing will be censored.
That is very true. Very, very true. Okay.
Can we start with Travis then?
We can start with Travis.
Let's start with Travis today.
We can start with Travis.
Can you lead that?
I can. Yeah.
Because we've got so much of the other political stuff. We would get to Travis late.
Yeah, we'll get.
And then we'll be heading into Nicole and celebrating Commander Jay Furman's victory.
That's exciting. Please share the show before the show.
Welcome in, guys, to the show before the show. Glad you're with us. Hope everybody's doing well. Hey there, Dawn and Bendy and Mitch and Karen. Just looking down quickly. Trisha. And Chris. Good morning, guys. Thanks for liking, subscribing, sharing the show. Joe, are we on Rumble too, buddy?
Yes, we are on Rumble.
Yes,
we are. Rumble just comes up.
I don't. All I see is yesterday's.
Hit live chat. Here, let me show you.
Where's the live chat?
Hit the live
right there. Yeah.
And then it'll come up. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to do that every day. I don't know why some days we have to do it and some days we don't, and it comes up a little bit later, and it's usually a little bit behind us.
Yeah, it says we're streaming fine on everything.
Yes, and we already have a small chat going on already. The thing that's interesting, you were talking about Rumble, Joe, is on Facebook, I can typically tell who the listener is because they go by their real name. But on Rumble, like somebody's Grey Wolf 49. I don't know who Grey Wolf 49 is. I've seen Grey Wolf on here, but a lot of times it might be somebody that we know.
Yeah, you can be.
You can be anybody you want to on Rumble.
You don't have to show your face basically on Rumble.
You don't. are there in the flesh on YT. We absolutely are up. And we have a little conversation already going on it. Thank you, Karen and Mike.
On what?
YT, YouTube.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
We're up. And we
Yippee-ki-yay, mother trucker!
Oh, goodness. Thank you, Karen and Mike, for being on that. Karen said she did a double take that she actually got alerted.
Say what?
YT. Say
Yeah.
what? Alerted her that we were up there. Yeah. So I need to be a good girl in what I say today.
I think they realize that Trump's about to become president again,
Uh-huh.
so they're on their best behavior.
Good for them. Good for them. Yeah, Trisha's saying, should have said, Lizzie, you have the power to shut down the entire system by saying one word. I should be owning that. And Tara T. Bergs says, looks like Vic survived his gathering with Mark Kaysen yesterday.
Oh, dear God. I knew it was going to happen to me. I always tell people, you need to sit and listen to people who disagree with you. No, you don't.
No,
Don't
you
listen
don't.
to them.
No, you
I'm
don't.
changing my whole tune. F
Uh-huh.
them. F them. Burn them. Put them in the trash. Forget about them. Kick them while they're down. Piss on them. Do whatever you need to do. It's a mental disorder. You guys are right. I've changed everything.
Good. Finally, you get that.
These Democrats have lost their effing minds. It's a mental disorder, or they're being paid like Andrea Mitchell to say things.
That's right.
Andrea Mitchell literally has come out and said Joe Biden is doing the best he's ever done, that he is gaining momentum. And I mean,
That is a sickness. I'm
bullshit.
sorry. Bullshit. Bullshit.
Bullshit.
Actually, whenever you talk about him today, get that ready. You should be playing that on
Bullshit.
Kaysen. I dare you to do that, Pro Joe, on his show when he says something you know is a lie. Bullshit.
Man, I don't know.
Lost their
There's
effing
definitely
mind,
plenty
man.
of times where I make notes of the things that he says
And
and then doesn't play like any videos or anything. Doesn't have any kind of like,
right to back that
right.
up.
That's the only problem. I mean, like, I love Mark. Mark's a good guy. I just don't like that he doesn't back up what he said.
Right. Absolutely.
Mark listens to our show. I don't know if he's on right now. That's the problem, Mark. You don't back anything up.
Yeah.
But I'll share a story with him from dinner last night. Bart, he didn't eat. I did.
What'd you eat?
Grilled chicken sandwich and chili at Wendy's. That's it.
I love everything they have there.
When I used to eat sugar, I even love their cookie dough.
Oh, see, me too. Me too. Their cookie dough is the best. Yeah, Bindi, I do have to watch that. Bindi's saying, if I keep saying bullshit, then my granddaughter will start saying that. Because sometimes this is played in my house while this is going on, like on big TVs or whatever, whoever's watching. And so Liberty can watch her Gaga, and then all of a sudden her parents are going to go home and Liberty's going to be going, bullshit.
All right. We are totally packed. I mean,
We really are.
Wow,
we really
wow.
are.
Let me see. We've got everything here. We're getting everybody in. Like, subscribe, share the show. Are we that? We really know each other? Can I do this? Let's see if Joe is an extension of my brain
Okay,
and my
let's
thought
see.
process.
Okay, do it.
Here we go. Joe Biden's speech tonight will be full of a ton of
Bullshit.
Thank you, Joe.
You're in tune. You've been working together long enough, you know.
That was not planned.
That's right. That was not planned, but it was damn funny.
I love it.
Mm.
All right, let's go ahead and we'll start the show then. And yo, you want some cancel this to go. Happy Thursday, March 7th, everybody. Vic Faust, Lizzie Sparks, Projo in the house. Do you find to be funny?
I do. I think you're hysterical.
It is Thursday. We are glad to be here. Thanks for making the show as good as it is. You guys do this. Like, subscribe, share the show. Please let people know what we do. If you go to all of our platforms, and I mean all of them, including YouTube, because YouTube likes to have their special treatment. They're like that child that needs extra attention. They're that child that needs extra coddling. They're that child that you have to treat with, kid gloves and make sure that's what they are. Go ahead and like them.
Yeah.
You can. We've had everybody on all the platforms there, video and of course the audio. Robert loves the new video that you put together, Projo.
Mm-hmm.
He literally put that together in like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, it was pretty easy.
Yeah, he's pretty talented like that.
Yeah, and by the way, if anybody needs photography of any kind, they can do that. The football show hired Joe to go out and shoot. There's a huge football combine, one of the biggest in the Midwest this Saturday. I know because my son will be there, and they're like, "Damn, we need Joe out there." So they hired Joe to get out there and shoot football. I mean, anything that you need recorded, edited, that sort of thing. Use Projo. You already see some of the things, and that's just something simple that he can do. What else do you do? Letting people know from that standpoint, from your personal side, your personal business,
web design, social media management. There's just a lot.
If you've got, like, if somebody had seen your pictures they needed done, could you
Oh,
do that?
absolutely. Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
all kinds of photography. I'm not exactly the wedding photographer. So,
Mhm.
however, anything else.
could you be the wedding singer?
No.
Okay.
Well,
Wedding
maybe. I don't
singer.
know.
He might be.
You might be
able
able to do that. Anyway, it's Cancel This Monday through Friday, 8 to 10 a.m. Central. You can catch all of our episodes on our website, canceltheshow.com. Seriously, big thanks to all of you who come every day and continue to tell people about us. Slowly but surely, it's organically. We continue to get bigger and stronger throughout our local area and branching out across the country. We're grateful for you guys giving us story ideas, giving us different perspectives, that's for sure. Okay, with that being said, we got a lot to get to today. A new Gallup poll talks about who Democrats want if Joe Biden were to step aside. Why would Newsweek put that poll out?
Why?
I'm just saying, as he heads into it, he's got a speech tonight. His ratings are the lowest of any president. They're even lower than Jimmy Carter if you actually break it down. Some people say, well, Jimmy Carter's were lower. He has a speech tonight. He's going to lie. He's going to blame blame Republicans for the border. He's going to talk about big business is why we have inflation, not pushing all that money into our economy. And then, of course, I'm sure he'll talk a lot about abortion. Anyway, Joe Biden will be doing a speech tonight. Donald Trump is going to be live truthing tonight, baby.
Can't wait.
I mean,
Can't
every day he does something freaking historic, something memorable.
Yeah.
Lizzie, he's going to give live play-by-play. He's essentially doing, if sports fans know what the Manning cast is, Monday Night Football has their football game, huge telecast. So the Mannings do a telecast while it's going on. They call it the Manning cast. Peyton Manning and Eli, and they talk about what's going on. Donald Trump is going to do a Manning, literally a Trump cast.
I cannot wait.
Wow. Well, Biden's giving a speech.
I would love to see Biden do this to Trump.
Wouldn't that be great?
Well, he couldn't.
I know.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I would love to see it. That would be more comical.
That really would be good.
He'd be like sniffing.
He'd be sniffing for sure.
His ice cream cone.
Oh, goodness.
What did you say? I forget. I hurt my neck when I was moving last weekend, and literally I was having to turn. I felt like I was walk like a Joe Biden. Someone say something, I have to like turn around like Joe Biden, like, huh? Because my neck hurts so bad.
That is so funny.
I felt like Joe Biden. Oh my God. Trump will have more viewers. Jay, you already took my next line.
Yep. Jay's on it.
I want to see. I
it.
wish there was a way that we could do the ratings from tonight. Wouldn't that be freaking cool?
That would be
to
great.
see what was going to happen. Megan says he will say MAGA extremist 50 times. He probably,
he will.
I wonder. Yeah, we should do a running count of that tonight.
We should.
If anybody doesn't have to get up too early tomorrow, or you like to drink and you can hold your alcohol, do a shot every time he says MAGA extremist.
Or take a toke.
Or take a toke.
Go to Route 66. Grab
Joe.
If Joe doesn't come in here tomorrow, we know what happened.
Joe would be like,
yeah. Oh my gosh. Joe,
He's being
Joe, we have a show to do. Joe, where's Joe? Oh, we know what Joe did last night.
You watched Biden's speech.
That's right.
Oh, I didn't know this. Thank you for the update. We love it when you guys are a part of the live cast. I know people watch us all throughout the day, and we talk about our library being as good as anybody's. Our content is good as anybody's, and that's what we love. We put a lot of time into it. But I did not know. Thank you, Bendy. Tucker will be live right after Joe's speech tonight as well. So you got some good viewing there.
Wow, there's going to be some good stuff tonight.
But so Trump's going to live truth, talk about that. Biden's got a speech. I'm the only thing I'm not thrilled about with Donald Trump right now is that he's begging to do debates. He knows it's the last debate between him and Biden were terrible, and Trump was a part of that.
Right.
Trump was terrible that night.
That was not his best.
It was the worst public showing Trump has ever had.
Yeah.
Bad. So don't do that. But he's been begging for debates. I just didn't like the look of that, my humble opinion. We'll get into ESPN. This happened, I think, last week. They cut off UFC president and owner Dana White during the middle of his interview on the Pat McAfee show. They won't get rid of Pat McAfee because Pat brings big bucks. He's uncancelable. But they cut him off in the middle of his interview because Dana White was talking about how media isn't trustworthy. And ESPN cut him off. We'll get into that. And then because poor little Eminem got his little feelings hurt, he likes to act like a big old tough guy going after the MAGA extreme. Literally, listen to this rock and roll or rap superstar just whining and crying about Donald. He used to rip MAGA people.
Yeah.
Now he's not ripping MAGA people because that could impact his sales. Now he's ripping Donald Trump. But he basically says, all y'all out there who like Donald Trump, you're just lost souls. You don't understand. We're all being played. We're all being played. Donald Trump is part of the game.
That's right. He's just the man.
Oh, dear
Evil
God.
man.
So you'll hear him whine and cry. I mean, I thought you're supposed to be tough. Usually, have you noticed that in life? A lot of people who act like tough and walk around like they're tough, they're sissies.
Yeah.
They're pussies.
They're bullies. They're bullies.
And the people who really are strong and they're comfortable with themselves, they don't have to act tough.
That's exactly right.
If a problem arises, they'll deal with it. Then they go back into this. But it's always, yeah, man, I'm so tough. I'm rimming. Yeah. Where's my little hat? Just because he's always like.
That's right. That's exactly what they do. They're little bullies.
Eminem just needs to stick to music, stick to following our Detroit Lions, and shut up about politics because you're a damn fool. You're uneducated. You're not half as intelligent as you think you are. You know music, you know rap, or at least you did. He hasn't produced anything really good in a long time.
And that's why he acts like that. He's trying
Maybe he's frustrated. But he was an icon. You're not an icon anymore.
No, he's not.
Why can't you produce what you did before? Steven Crowder will also be doing a live fact check on Sleepy Joe's speech as well. Thanks for putting that through there. I like Crowder. I've never really talked a lot about Crowder, but I do like what he does as well. Very, 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 very good stuff there as well. Benny says, get your popcorn ready. Okay, so we got a lot to get into. And then we also have Nicole Jenkins joining us live today at 9:30 to talk about Commander Jay Furman. Remember, we had him on last week at the border. He won his election, so he beat the Democrat. Thank God we've got a military man on the border who showed us video of what he has seen, what's happening with the cartels at the border. They'll break down what happened there. So anyway, Glenn says there's no tough guys named Marshall.
That is a really good point. Marshall. Yeah, his real name is Marshall.
We should just call him Marshall.
Marshall. That's his problem, is his name is Marshall.
I'd take Marsha over Marshall.
Oh, me too.
In a cage match.
Well, today, maybe really he's having a problem because he's wondering if he isn't Marsha. So he's got all kinds of problems going on in his head.
So we got a lot to get to. We're going to have some fun with this. But first, sad story that we want to get to. And I'm glad you brought it to our attention. Now, we broadcast live out of the St. Louis, Missouri area, but we do a national show, listeners all over the country. One thing that happened in our area, and it's going unnoticed, and it's I don't know why. At first when I saw it, I was like, okay, I don't know if it's true or not, because I've learned throughout a lifetime of media that more things that come across the table are not true than are true. So you just be careful about things. I got burned once a long time ago.
Yeah.
But we had an illegal alien responsible for a life
We
in the
did.
St. Louis area too.
Correct. There was a little boy named Travis, and it came out on a restaurant called Dirty Dogs, and it's a hot dog place in O'Fallon. And I've been saying over and over and over, and there's Travis. So if you can actually see, if you're on one of our shows that you can see, that's Travis with his cute little
Oh,
cowboy
wonderful.
hat.
So Travis isn't with us anymore.
No, Travis
my
died.
God.
It's so sad. So he was, we talked yesterday to one of our guests about the Francis House School District, where ironically, this cute little boy went to the Francis House School District. He would frequent a restaurant called the Dirty Dogs in O'Fallon. And I've been saying over and over and over, in the O'Fallon area, I am seeing lots of illegals here, just so many. But it hadn't really affected us yet, other than you see them in the store and they're
What a
very
cute
rude in the
kid.
store. But he is dead at the hands of a woman who was an illegal, got into a car accident. From what I understand, the car accident happened in St. Louis, somewhere off of Dunn Road, a couple months ago. And so his parents were really hurt, and they were in the hospital for quite a while. And then Travis died of his complications just a couple days ago. And what's so sad about that is, of course, this person was illegal. So they absolutely do not have any, she didn't have any insurance. I don't
Mhm.
know what happened to her. And what's interesting is no authority is talking about that. And we have really good mayors in this county, and they share everything. Like there's a website right now called Pray for PK, and all of our mayors are sharing that, but they're not sharing this. And that is because, in my humble opinion, and it's just my opinion, this post from this restaurant is telling the truth. It is someone that was not a legal citizen. And so our mayors don't want to get in the middle of talking about illegal aliens, not because they're,
Why not? Are you sure they don't?
well,
Okay, the O'Fallon mayor is who?
Bob Hennessy. And people on the board, he's a liberal. I mean, he's a liberal. And so
Wait a minute,
that's,
is he the guy that we were dealing with the car situation at the entrance to the subdivision?
yes,
Remember that?
same mayor.
Okay.
So this is why you're having a lot of problems in O'Fallon. Is Bob Hennessy. I'm not saying he's not a good man.
Yeah, no, I just was curious who it was.
But there's a lot of problems in O'Fallon. And part of the problem is the growth is so enormous that they can't keep up.
The
And
growth of illegals? What do you mean?
both.
Oh,
The,
okay.
the growth of the town is still, they're adding businesses and apartments left and right. And the illegals are huge here. And you don't have to take my word for it. One of the Catholic church in North O'Fallon became a non-English speaking church. So Travis is now dead at the hands of an illegal. It was a female that was not here legally. And no one is talking about it but this particular restaurant. And I know people care, because as soon as I posted it and they posted it, this thing is, I don't know if the word's viral, but it's getting shared and shared and shared and shared and shared. And when you look real hard, you can find the car accident. You can find the woman does not have insurance and is not an American citizen and is here illegally. But we can't get anyone to talk about it that is a public figure.
Okay, this is bullshit. Again, not a funny bullshit, but a serious bullshit.
Mhm.
Stephanie says all you have to do is go look at the Fox 2 Facebook page. They
Mhm.
shared a story of this happening. And guess what? Nothing about her being an illegal
Correct.
alien.
Correct.
Nothing about her being an illegal alien and
Mhm.
taking the life of Travis.
Yes.
Shame on you, Fox 2, for doing that. And the other news stations and papers and everybody else for not covering the truth. Do some freaking journalism. I guarantee they knew it and they didn't want to say it,
Mhm.
because all you have to do is look at a name and then go do some research. That's all you have to do. And if the police department didn't give information to Fox 2, shame on them.
Yes.
Shame on O'Fallon for doing that.
Well, and
And I don't know if O'Fallon gave the information or not. So
Yeah,
maybe
I don't
O'Fallon
either.
didn't do anything wrong. But if they didn't, that's a problem.
That is a problem. And there's alderman people that I talk to. One is saying, and she's a female who's now a new alderman, and she said the mayor won't do. I did talk to the alderman, and she's saying they are keeping all of these things hushed because O'Fallon at one point was voted the 4th most safe state in the United States. And now all these illegals are here. So it's not necessarily the mayor's not bringing the illegals here. They're here and they don't know what to do about it. So they're keeping it hushed and hoping this goes away because they still want the title of the safest neighborhood. But I've been screaming this to the rooftops. O'Fallon is going to have a huge problem. Like, I think something big's going to happen in O'Fallon because you can't go to a Walmart in O'Fallon. I mean, it's worse in O'Fallon than it is anywhere else. And it's starting to go out.
She better be effing deported.
Yeah, but you
And
can't.
here's the problem.
Mhm.
Even Dick Durbin, Congressman Dick Durbin, who comes across as a nice guy when you talk to him. I've done several interviews with him over the past 7-8 years. The problem with Dick Durbin is you had Republicans trying to pass a bill so that violent illegals could be immediately deported, and he shut it down. He shut it
Wow.
down. He said, but we're not giving them, our newcomers, as Glenn says on the chat line, their due process. You should not have any due process if you're illegal in another country, and especially if you've committed a crime
Mhm.
against somebody else. He wants to keep them here. This is why I'm losing faith in Democrats right now, because how the hell can you say that an illegal who's here illegally, you can't just change the law in your own mind and your heart illegally, and then hurt somebody, commits a crime against somebody illegally, and then they can't be deported or go to a prison?
Mhm.
Are you freaking kidding me?
Right. What are they doing with all these illegals? What are they doing with them? Where are they going? We don't ever find that out.
And then
Vic.
this little boy, can we see Travis again? So an illegal took Travis's life.
Mhm.
Do we know when this happened?
The accident happened a couple months ago, but he apparently died of his complications just a couple days ago. So a restaurant in O'Fallon called the Dirty Dogs is wanting you to come in there and pay tribute to him. There's an actual table set up in O'Fallon and it's off of Highway K. And the little boy loved Dr. Pepper. So when you go in there, there's a Dr. Pepper sitting there and they're saying, hashtag Travis Strong. And, and there is a GoFundMe page. You can go to Dirty Dogs and find the GoFundMe page that was set up there. And it's not hard to find. And this little boy and his family has gone to that restaurant from the beginning and been an avid family. So, and there's someone that contacted me last night that that family went to their church. And it's just tragic. I mean, this is affecting that family, all the families around it. And this was not someone that was supposed to be here. They're not supposed to be here. They were not here legally. And so we say this all the time. Vic and I say this all the time. It is coming to a town near you. And this is safe. Number 4 in the country, O'Fallon, has a cute little boy. And
O'Fallon's not good anymore like that.
No,
I'm sorry.
It isn't good anymore.
And
Bindi on the chat line lives there, and she said the crime is escalating like you wouldn't believe.
Of course it is.
O'Fallon now can't keep police chiefs. They can't keep police officers, and it was the place.
It's in
to go
most
work.
times. It's many towns across America, not just
true.
O'Fallon too, and that's sad. And it pisses me off that this is happening. Yeah, and as Stephanie brings up on the chat line too, this makes sense. And we talked about this story too a couple of weeks ago. For whatever Missouri's insurance rates, the car rates,
Yes.
number 1 in America increased last year, 24 to 26%. Missouri was number 1. It's like New York was 2, Vermont 3,
Yes.
Missouri number 1. It's because of things like this. That's right. Because what happens is these things happen, insurance rates go up, and then the rest of us pay for it double,
That's
which
right.
is sad. Part of the reason insurance premiums are increasing. She had no insurance, of course, and we pay for these non-insured illegals to be here.
Correct.
And if you remember, it was about a month ago, I read a tweet from a account named the Badge Patriot. And it was an officer who has a Twitter account, X account, who shared an experience of a guy getting hit. He wasn't hurt, but an illegal woman, another illegal woman, it was a woman driver, that smashed his car up, and she didn't have insurance. And the guy was literally crying, screaming at the officer to do something. The officer wrote about it and said, I allowed him to yell and cuss at me because I could have imagined being in his situation.
Wow.
Once again, this is what 3.5 years or 3 years of Joe Biden's policies have done. And it's square on Joe Biden. Yes, we know somebody else is calling the shots, but it's Joe Biden. Joe Biden, Joe Biden, Joe Biden. And it's not getting any better.
No.
It's getting worse. He'll talk about it tonight. Oh, we're trying. We care. Yeah. once again, all we've done is proven that Donald Trump was ahead of his time, as he is most of the time with his policies. You don't have to like the man. You don't have to like the man, but but you have to respect the game, because the game is good. The policies are good. He has a proven track record, and that's what he has done. I hate hearing that story. Thoughts and prayers for the family and everybody else who's been affected by that. And I mean, who's to say that it's not going to happen again and again and again and again and again? Chris said, yet the officer didn't arrest the illegal on the spot because he couldn't. He gave them tickets because he did not have authority to arrest the illegal on the spot. That was the problem. Yeah. And then there's not going to be insurance, because that's what happens. Those problems occur, and then you deal with that. Yes, praying for Travis's soul. Never forget to hold Biden voters accountable. According to John, they must be called out. Yeah, you call them out, but what's going to happen? We call it out. I mean, we're a little echo chambered here. We try to get the message out, but once again, you're not going to change a Democrat's mind right now. They'll chop it up to, oh, well, things happen. You know, things happen. That's life. I literally had a Democrat tell me last night, he literally admitted 100% that in the E. Jean Carroll case with Donald Trump, there was zero evidence to convict him. Admitted it too. Admitted, yeah, of course there was no evidence, but it was enough for a judge and a jury. And that's what our system is in America. If you're in Alabama, a black man would be lynched and hung with no evidence. It's the same thing for Donald Trump in New York. Literally admitted that there was zero evidence in the E. Jean Carroll case.
That's awful.
This is the thought process which made me go, holy crap. Maybe there is something to the, the disorder of the brain. Maybe it's the Donald Trump syndrome again, the derangement syndrome that is going on. It just blows my mind that's happening. So anyway, thanks for sharing the Travis story. I hate it. Sometimes I want to get the sad out first of what happened to him and his family. And clearly he is an angel now. And I can't even imagine the pain of the family members who are left behind after something like that. And then add insult to injury, salt in the wound. It's an illegal.
Of course.
Somebody who should have never been here.
That's right. It could have been avoided.
And then you have media, a third hit against the family, refusing to speak truth, not telling the full story. Once again, this is why I have called out local media, because they don't tell the full story. They rarely, if ever, tell you the full story in local news, which is why ratings have stopped. And that's why people, if they're flipping through, they don't stop. You're not getting full story. I don't even know if you're getting full story with weather. But
right.
Maybe sports. I don't know, man. It's just, these are the stories. This is why local media, you can change this. You can write a story. You can add to it. There's nothing that stops you from going in and adding an update. This was an illegal alien. Well, we don't want to add. Why? People need to know this stuff.
Right. Well, it's because of the crime statistics. They don't want it in their town. So if they act like they didn't see it, a lot of the mayors, I think, act like they just didn't see it.
Yeah, of course. And the mayor needs to be calling this out too.
Absolutely.
Oh, this is where, we just, in St. Louis, we just put our heads down and we just do what we've always done here. We don't want to, we just want to stay in our little bubble. And I'm sorry, in the St. Louis metropolitan area, it's more so than any other place I've lived. And I've lived in a lot of places. We just don't want to ruffle feathers. We just want to sit down, which is why I'm encouraged by the people who join our show from the Missouri area. Do not be afraid to speak truth or be canceled. These are issues, especially when kids are dying now.
That's
because illegals are here. That has to be called out. And there is nothing wrong with calling out illegals killing young kids.
That's right. Was here. She didn't even have a driver's license.
I understand bad things happen. I understand accidents happen. I understand there's involuntary manslaughter.
I do.
But my God, when they're illegal, it takes on a whole new situation.
Well, it does. And they come over here and they somehow end up with a car and they don't have a driver's license. And a lot of them were never taught to drive. And that's who's behind the wheel. People aren't talking about that either. These people are not supposed to be here. They don't even know how to drive. They don't follow any of our laws. Of course they don't, because they came over here illegally. So they're going to drive a car illegally as well and then kill an innocent child.
Terry says if they would acknowledge it, it would show. Safest town for crime, close the border.
That's exactly right.
Chris says, I've had a personal experience with that exact scenario, an illegal hitting them. And then, of course, not being able to take care of the damage that occurred afterwards.
Mhm.
That would have been horrible. The other, fine, we'll say one more thing coming from the chat line before I move on. Actually, he could have held her and called ICE. Talking about the O'Fallon officer. Would he have been called onto the carpet? Most likely.
Yeah, I
if
think
he worked
so.
in a liberal district. But if he had any backbone, talking about this cop had any backbone, he should have called ICE.
Absolutely.
And if he was fired, he would have had a massive lawsuit for being dismissed for upholding the law.
Correct. And our police officers need to do that, but I think they're not even doing it like they used to because no one's backing them. They're not getting backed by their police chiefs. And it's tragic because the police chief answers to the mayor. And we've now had 4 or 5 stories on this show in such a short period of time. And the 4th safest city, which is O'Fallon, Missouri, in the United States, is now so full of crime. It's sad, really.
There you go. It is what it is. Jay reminds everybody a nursing student was murdered, cheerleader, Travis. How many more? 2 other women have been raped at knife and gunpoint in the United States in the last 2 months by illegals. It's going to continue to happen. Joe says, by the way, the accident was in North County, not St. Louis.
Yes,
not
someone
O'Fallon.
told me it was off of Dunn Road, is what someone told me, is where that accident actually
So it's not
happened.
O'Fallon then.
Well, that it depends because it depends on where you find it. The child himself is from the O'Fallon area, but the accident, if you can look at it, was off of Dunn Road. The accident itself was off of Dunn Road.
Yeah, we'll get some. Well, but we'll try to talk to some cops. They can't come on air and show their face, but we could try to do it off air, or at least just have a voice. No, Vic, I've had experience as an officer arresting an illegal, and I called ICE myself. Good for you. Thanks for calling the show and letting us know that there is some protocol in doing that, so that people do have some hope when it comes to these kids and victims. And American citizens' rights when it comes to the roads. So if anything else comes out with that story, we'll certainly continue to follow that and share those stories and letting people know. Yeah, Dunn Road is St. Louis County.
Correct.
So it's not O'Fallon then.
Well, but O'Fallon should be.
I'm confused. I just didn't want to give bad information.
Right. Well, and that's the problem. We don't have all of the information to the story. We just know that a young boy from the O'Fallon area, a Francis House student, died at the hands of an illegal. Some are telling me the accident happened in North County off of Dunn Road.
So what would that have to do with the mayor of O'Fallon?
Well,
that's what I'm saying.
The mayor of O'Fallon should be speaking up. He should. This is one of his citizens. He should be speaking up about the crime.
I agree. 100%.
He should be speaking up regardless. If your citizen is dying just over the bridge, you should be talking about this. This should be first page story, but no one but this restaurant is bringing it up.
Yeah, we want to cuddle and we want to take care. We want to assimilate illegals. I'm sorry. It doesn't matter. 8, 9 of them, 9 illegals can be fine. One is going to ruin it for everybody, just like they say in life with so many situations. And then you compound that and you add thousands and tens of thousands. And then even if you break it down by the hundreds of thousands of bad actors, illegals here who are just careless. And somebody can be here with the purest of intentions, but if they're illegal and they're not following laws and they're not trying to assimilate, then we got even more problems that are going on.
That's right.
And this is why it's a huge problem. It's a huge issue. We wanted to cover that this morning. Once again, thoughts and prayers for Travis and his family, and shame on the media and shame on the mayors and the people who have platforms to not tell the full truth that, once again, this wasn't illegal that took this boy's life. And we are all left doing this. Megan reminds everybody they are not newcomers. They are criminals. I repeat, they are not newcomers. They are criminals, just like they were in their own country.
Absolutely.
So there you go. Another story from the Facebook line, heard on the news, rent in St. Louis has risen 13%. Yeah, that's
sure that's right.
That's another situation that's going on too.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, once again, you can thank Joe Biden for all of this. And he has a speech tonight. If he has anything planned, and he has time to rest, and he has time to eat his ice cream, and they have time to give him all of his shots and keep it scripted, He'll be fine tonight. It's sad that we're wondering, is he going to be able to make it through a speech? What happens is you lessen the bar. And then when he shows up and he actually does what an average president can do, then, oh my God, he delivered a great speech. I can already hear it. He was so amazing. Just wait, it's going to happen. He was strong on Trump, strong on the account. I mean, just wait for it. It's a bunch of crap that's going to happen tonight. He's going to blame Republicans, and he's going to speak about it. Tomorrow morning at 8:20, we're going to talk with the Cardinal Ritter class again, and their assignment is they have to watch the speech tonight
That'll be interesting.
with Dr. Mark Kaysen, who
I hope some
teaches
of the
there and
kids
does a
talk
show
about it.
here and if you ever want to see some Trump derangement syndrome, you can watch it every day at 4:00 from 4 to 5. It's called The Showdown on Facebook and YouTube. You can just see what you're dealing with people when they come up with these philosophies. So there are going to be people who think he did an amazing job today. His Gallup poll ratings, 37% approval rate. That's a Gallup, which I would say leans a little left.
Right. For
30.
sure.
It's probably under 30%, the lowest that a president has had at this point in their career. That's how bad it is as he goes into his speech tonight.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what the ratings will be, but I also have an opinion on Donald Trump. This is the happy part. He's going to be live truthing tonight. That's right. Here's his quote. Here's what Donald put out to let everybody know what's going to happen. By the way, Donald Trump's going to be live truthing tonight. We'll show you what he put out on Truth Social. Tucker Carlson will be live tonight right afterwards as well. Glad to hear that's going to happen. And then, of course, we'll see if Mike Johnson has anything up. Will Mike Johnson rip up Biden's speech as Pelosi did? No, Mike Johnson has too much respect to do that. But here's what Donald Trump said in his speech when it comes to his quote. Joe, you can put up his quote, buddy. It says quote. That's all right. Here it is. Donald Trump says, quote, "I am pleased to inform you that tomorrow night we will be doing a live play-by-play of crooked Joe Biden's State of the Union address. I will correct in rapid response." This is so great. "Any and all inaccurate statements, especially pertaining to the border and his weaponization of the DOJ, FBI, attorney generals, and district attorneys to go after his political opponent, all caps, me, something never done before in this country, exclamation point. We did this once before to tremendous success, beating all records. It is important for the country to get the truth, exclamation point." So tonight on Truth Social, you can watch Donald Trump put Joe Biden in his, because you know he's going to lie.
Mm-hmm.
And the media will not account for him. This is why local media and national media is not needed anymore, because you have podcasts, because you have journalists all over America doing it. You have Donald Trump correcting it because national media won't do it. He's going to be there right there for you. And from the chat line, and not one liberal news network will cover it. Of course they won't.
No, they won't.
But you don't need to, because America has learned and America knows. And once America wakes up and sees it, then they'll be like, oh, as we have seen, because never has a man faced more scrutiny, more lies, more indictments, more bullshit, and then raised his ratings with Americans. Because they see it, they know what's happening. So Donald Trump live truthing tonight. How long will it take for Donald Trump to make his first Truth Social comment
I can't
on Joe
wait.
Biden?
This is going to be good.
We've never had anything like this before.
It's going to be wonderful.
This is why Donald Trump is the man when it comes, the art of making the deal. He gets it. He knows it. He knows how to connect with people. He knows how to communicate. He's got nothing to hide, which is why he goes out and does what he does. That's why he is the most popular politician, the most known politician in the country right now, and why he is arguably the most popular politician of all time, because of what he has done, what he has faced. He didn't ask to face these things. All he tried to do was run for president, and he did a damn good job. A damn good job.
Absolutely.
Which is why people are longing for those days. Even the Democrats longing for the days of the economy that Donald Trump gave us. Days of a border that was much different than it was now. Days of a national security that was much stronger. Days of pride in our country. Days of nationalism, which is not a bad word. Not at all. But you have liberal people liberal networks, liberal media that try to make that bad. There is nothing wrong with loving the red, white, and blue, which is what we do. So tonight, as Megan sums it up, you've got Mumbler versus MAGA.
That's good. That's good.
Let's get it on.
Mm-hmm.
It's my boy Les Miles used to say, fight referee, one of the best ever. Anyway, MSNBC had the lowest Super Tuesday ratings of all the networks. MSNBC sucks. They got terrible anchors. They got liars. It's not a good production. I'm sorry. I know TV. It's bad. Oh, Glenn wants to add one. And we have days of remembering no wars.
That's the biggest one, probably.
There's no wars.
Mm-hmm.
Big company not making money. Days of no wars. They've done everything to keep Donald Trump. He was the guy that upset their little apple cart to destroy this world. And here he came. And now he's coming back. And they're making him do what he's got to do. Media will never admit it. But Trump gave some amazing speeches. And here's the thing. They're getting better. His speeches are getting better.
They really are.
And it incites the liberal mindset. Oh, they're just like, ugh.
Makes them so mad.
They get so angry.
They can't stand it. They're so mad. They're like, probably tonight, you know what they're going to be doing? They're going to be laying in their beds, just pulling up their blankets.
I'm going to have my phone. I can't wait. I'm excited.
I can't wait.
I'm like, I was literally laughing, looking at my phone when I saw that. I'm like, oh my God.
That'd be the best.
Trump's going to live truth tonight. The Manning cast of politics. So we'll obviously that'll be a big topic. It's going to
be found on Truth Social where it's going to be happening, right?
Yeah. Yes. And from the chat line, one of Donald's speeches in California made my hair on my arm stand straight up. I wonder if you can wager if Biden falls off the stage tonight.
Yeah, let's put a bet in.
I wonder if there's Vegas bets on Biden screwing up, Biden mumbling, stumbling. He's got to be fine in all of his speeches that are prepared. His handlers, they bathe him, they wipe his mouth off, they make sure he gets enough sleep, they give him the shots of energy that he needs. Dr. Naputi's good energy shots are probably over there. They're probably jacking him with everything. He goes out there.
Yeah.
And, and he'll know exactly where to walk. Then he'll wait for Jill Biden to come up and escort him off the stage. We'll see. Ryan says, saw they were putting the fence back up. Why do they put the fence up around the Capitol building? Why do they only put it up when Pedo Joe is there?
There's a lot of truth to that. I don't know. Putting that fence up too, I think, is a signal this is our house. This isn't your house. So you need to stay out. I mean, they've been signaling ever since J6 about that. And their plans are finally starting to backfire.
Well, it's interesting. So we've got that going on. In the midst of all of this going on, Gallup decides to put an article out today on the day of Joe Biden's speech. This is Newsweek showing polling. Newsweek and Gallup putting this out as Joe Biden's making his speech tonight. I always say, look where the puck isn't.
Look where the puck isn't.
Yeah, you go where the puck isn't. The old Gretzky line. That's why he was so great. He said, I went where the puck wasn't and it found me. Why would they literally be putting a poll out of who Americans want if Joe Biden is not going to be able to run for president? Okay, the polling came out this way. It was kind of a dead heat between Michelle Obama, who has already said twice in publicly, I am not running for president. You can stop that. Democratic voters, 19% for her, and all voters, 13%. Kamala Harris edged her out. 21% of Democratic voters would want Kamala Harris.
Over who?
As their number one choice if Joe Biden can't run.
Oh my gosh. Well, that's all they got.
But 13%. So that's 34% who were polled said these are Democrats would want Kamala Harris to replace Joe Biden.
You know that person has mental illness. You know they do, because who in the heck would want her?
Bernie Sanders coming in with a total of 14 percentage points and tied with Hillary Clinton.
Oh my God.
14%. Now these are low numbers.
They are low numbers. I get Bernie Sanders. Now I don't agree with one policy he says, but I think he would do what he said he would do. And he's already been cheated out of an election himself.
Gavin Newsom, only 7%.
Nobody likes Gavin. Nobody likes him.
I'd have to say a few years ago, I was on the Bernie train.
Well, a lot of people were.
Pete Buttigieg actually beat Gavin Newsom, and he's been quiet lately. Although he did an interview yesterday. I literally said yesterday, or 2 days ago, we haven't heard from Pete Buttigieg. What happens? He's out speaking.
Yeah.
And then here's the overwhelming winner at almost 50%, 49%, 48%. People don't know.
I don't know.
That's why Joe Biden is still there.
Yeah.
They don't have anybody else.
That's
The Democratic
right,
Party
don't.
doesn't have anybody else to run, and they will get crushed. They will. I mean, I still think Biden's going to get crushed. I don't know what's going to happen with illegal activity in an election. That concerns the hell out of me because of what we've seen before, because we still have 14, 15 states that have no ID verification.
That's right. They're gonna prop him up, and they're gonna run him anyway, and then they'll end up with Cammie.
Glenn said he knows where Pete Buttigieg has been. He's been busy breastfeeding.
That's right. We forgot about that.
They call it chest feeding.
That's right.
Chest feeding.
Yes. Get your
him and his husband.
Right.
He's the breastfeeder, or he's the chest feeder.
Chest feeder, yeah.
Yeah.
Pete Buttigieg is the chest feeder in that relationship. Okay.
Oh my God.
That has never been said on the show before. I guarantee that.
No, I think that's the first time we said that, because we try not to mention Booty Butt that much because it's just not fun talking about him.
I've been learning a lot of things.
Yes. Yes. So, I mean, you need to get your pronouns right.
That's right. You guys taught me what asexual was last night.
Right. I couldn't believe that.
I had no idea what asexual was.
Well, it was even a weirder word. I didn't know what it was. Autosexual.
And of course, Projo knew what it was.
I had no idea what it was.
I know what asexual is, and I learned last night what autosexual was.
What, there's a difference between A and auto?
Not really. I mean, okay, so asexual, they can reproduce themselves. Now, autosexual, they're just attracted to themselves sexually, and that's it.
I'm too sexy for me.
I'm too sexy for anyone else.
I am so sexy that you all can't touch that.
I'm too sexy for this.
And apparently,
can't touch this.
Apparently, it's Khloe Kardashian. That's
one of the Kardashians is apparently an autosexual now.
My God, I love
Thank you,
it.
Megan. That's what Megan started texting us in the text chain last night. So I don't know.
What the hell is parthenogenesis?
Parthenogenesis? I have no idea. Meet the Fockers and the fake. Oh yeah.
Oh, it's Courtney. It's not Khloe. It's Courtney.
It's Courtney. Okay.
Courtney, yeah.
I get your Kardashians right.
Reproduction from an ovum without fertilization, especially as a normal process in some invertebrates and lower plants.
Say what?
What the heck was that?
Sorry, I was looking.
Joe's teaching us.
Yeah, it's AI telling me things.
They were telling me what auto or asexual was.
No,
is that what the
partho?
Oh, no,
yeah, whatever that.
No
word
sperm.
is, yeah.
That means you have no sperm.
Yeah.
All right.
Does that mean that you had a vasectomy then?
It's a natural form of asexual reproduction, which growth and development of the embryo occurs directly from the egg without need of fertilization.
Could you imagine?
Hey, now.
My grandparents came back alive, and I'm trying to say to them, Grandma, are you an autosexual?
Not going to get very far.
She'd be like, go sit your butt down and stop talking like that. I would have got my mouth.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, it is what it is. We live in a crazy world, crazy society.
Yeah, we do.
We know what's happening. So that's the whole speech deal tonight. Can't wait to see what happens. And we'll talk about that tomorrow. It would be too big of a deal for Joe Biden to come out tonight and totally blow it. There's no way. He's been rehearsing. They've got everything marked for him. It's going to be just fine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's been practicing.
Although it would be interesting just to see him get stuck.
Mm-hmm.
I want to compare pictures.
We should compare pictures.
If there's a real Biden, a Biden 1, Biden 2.
Mm-hmm. Which Biden is this? Well, it's definitely the Biden that had ice cream. They're like, here, lick your cone, lick your cone.
Wouldn't that be awesome?
You can get out.
Wouldn't it be awesome if he finished and they're like, good Jojo, good Joe. And he like walks off for his ice cream.
Uh-huh. You know, we're making fun of that, but I bet he really does have an ice cream waiting for him.
Oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
That's right.
What were you gonna say, Joe? You got somebody?
I was just gonna say that somebody comes on the stage with an ice cream cone to lead him off stage like an animal. You know?
This is just like, Joey. It's just like, dude's gonna be loaded tonight, loaded with everything. Woo! He's ready to rock and roll. This is cancelthisshow.com. I'm Vic Faust with Lizzie Sparks, Projo in the house as well. Special thanks to Wendy's in the Chesterfield Valley, one of our advertisers, our sponsors, some of the best food you're going to find. Good times, huge patio, wonderful service. Some of the best pizza, burgers, wings you're going to find. Ben and crew over there doing a phenomenal job. Also, want to give a shout out to Amini's in the Chesterfield Valley, one of our partners. You can get over there, check out their saunas, their hot tubs. Clearly all of their furniture, but when it comes to the saunas, they're actually helping your health, blood flow, heart circulation, life longevity. It's all there. The studies show what it is doing right now. Experienced real estate partners, Kathy Elbig Strick and Steve Strick. The business we know the real estate industry right now sucks, but you got to have a plan in place if you're doing anything. They're the best team around. But New Age Health and Wellness, the whole health game is a huge deal right now. That's the big deal. It's, getting your blood checked wherever you get your blood checked, finding somebody who does it right, getting the blood checked. Then you go, you check into the testosterone, you look at the semaglutide, all of those sorts of things is what they do. Route 66 Cannabis, terrific segment with Ham yesterday. Of course, Missouri likes its weed, no doubt about that. Number one in the country per capita weed sales, Missouri beat out Illinois and Colorado, $1.1 billion of industry. And Route 66, if you're going to get your cannabis, is some of the best products you're going to find. Also, WeQuip USA, where you rent items that you don't have. You don't want to buy it, you can go rent it from somebody in your area, your neighborhood. You literally go on their site, wequipusa.com. You can also rent your own items to people as well. What a terrific site. This is cancelthisshow.com. I'm Vic Faust with Lizzie Sparks, Projo in the house as well. Get very, very frustrated when it comes to celebrities who want to think that they're cooler than what they actually are. Now, I get it. When you become such a celebrity and you have fame and fortune and everybody runs to you as if you're the next god, you're an icon, you think it's all right for you to go out and start talking politics. Okay, fine, whatever floats your boat. But when you start getting nasty and angry and saying things and going after people, that's a shame. Eminem has done this. I loved Eminem's music. I love the fact that he's a Detroit Lions fan like I am. I love the D. My son was born there. We have Lions gear all over his bedroom and have for a long time. But Eminem, you just got to keep your mouth shut. Listen to Eminem go off. He's obviously an angry little guy.
Mm-hmm.
And the angry little guy, somebody called him earlier, little Napoleon, going off on Donald Trump. He's gone off on MAGA people for a while. He used to hate gays, and then it affected his music. So he started hating conservatives. And just listen to him go off on president. This is what he actually, and there's a lot of people that think like he do, which is why I think there's some sort of mental disorder.
Start talking about Trump, I get too flustered in my head, and the shit that I want to say, there's too many things I want to say at once. So sometimes I start talking and I'm not able to convey the message the right way because I just get flustered and frustrated. Watching him play to his base that thinks that he cares about them, and it's actually the people that he cares about the fucking least. If you're talking about his core being, a majority white middle class, what I don't understand is how in the fuck do you feel like you relate to a billionaire who has never known struggle his entire fucking life? I will say this, he talks a good one. And if you're in his base, you're a core, let's say you're going to the rallies or whatever, you watch him on TV, you hear him talking this shit, there's part of me that understands, like, all right, he's somehow still got them because he's brainwashing them into thinking that something great is gonna happen. Nothing's happening. Nothing is happening. I don't know, man. I get really flustered.
Yeah, we know.
He gets really flustered. He just gets really flustered. Did you hear that? He gets really flustered.
Well, he has called out all of middle-class white America right there. I mean, nobody should ever purchase anything from Eminem. Nobody should ever give him a cent. After he just called out, if you're white and you're middle class, Eminem hates you.
Yeah.
And you shouldn't give that dude. But I'm just telling, I think it's good for us to hear another perspective.
I do too. I'm glad you played it.
And that there are people, like him, like Mark Kaysen, who think that we're all stupid, think that we're just being led like little sheep. And if they actually believe what they're saying, it makes me wonder. Like, I've never wanted to be a psychologist. I do know people who think, oh, I'd love to get in people's minds. I would never want to get in a liberal's mind after hearing what he talks about. I know he had some struggles growing up, and I know he's dealing with some things, obviously from a mental standpoint and an emotional standpoint, and he's always had a chip on his shoulder. Lisa says he's just having a hard time because he's really a closet Trump fan.
I think I agree with her on that. He wants to like Trump really bad, but he can't because he's bashed him so much.
He's an angry little elf.
He is an angry little elf. Angry little elf. Yes, he is.
Elf, quote, best Christmas movie ever. He's an angry little elf.
He's an angry little elf.
Elf.
Yes. He definitely has the Napoleon complex.
He's so short-termed. He's struggled in ways. Do more research, Mr. Eminem. Love hearing from these intellectuals. No actual facts, just name calling and race shaming. This is one thing that Joe's pointed out too. If you talk debate, and I think you should, ask liberals, Democrats for facts. That's all it is, facts. Let's have a good conversation. Let's talk. But you've got to bring facts. You can't just say what Eminem said with no facts.
Just back it up.
Yep.
Back it up.
Back it up. And he's not backed it up at all.
Back it up, back it in. Let's begin. But there is no fact. And that's the problem. There you go. Sit him down with Kid Rock and he will change his mind. I don't know. I don't think so. No, they do not hang out together. They don't. I've never seen them together.
Who's got spaghetti on his shirt? Somebody's got spaghetti on his shirt.
Yeah.
Was that Eminem?
Ma spaghetti.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's Eminem's song lyrics, obviously.
Yeah, see, I don't follow him, so I didn't know that.
My spaghetti. It's one of his best songs ever. Lose Yourself.
Well, and in the movie, what is it, 8 Mile, he threw up mom's spaghetti right before he went on stage because he was so nervous. Yeah,
got it. Thank you very much for clearing that up because I needed to know.
The show couldn't have gone on without him.
Thank you for telling me that because I had no idea.
Oh, what a great quote. Yeah, Jay says, and all of that coming from a rich white guy. And you know what he was describing? What do you have in common? You know he was describing? He was describing Joe Biden.
He was totally describing
who he's going to go vote for.
That's right.
Like a damn fool.
Oh, my gosh.
He did not get the best education growing up, clearly. And I know his mom wasn't there for him. And I think a lot of that is why he is the way that he is.
Issues. He definitely had mommy issues. And that was Eminem is the only like singer, whoever, that I told my oldest son not to watch anymore.
Really?
Because he.
Oh, and that's going back in the day then.
Oh, way back. My son's 32 and he had him on one day. And I remember listening to a song and it was talking about cutting a bird's head off. And that wasn't the problem. But I was like, honey, do you understand that he hates women and you have little sisters? I'm like, and he hates gay people and you probably go to school with gay people. Let's just turn that shit off.
Oh, from the Facebook line. I don't think Kid Rock is the bastion of intellect to debate anyone.
That could be true.
You might be right.
Yeah, that could be true. That could be true. But at least in my opinion, Kid Rock plays some good music for sure.
I love this show. I love what we can do here.
Now that would be a good debate. Kid Rock for Trump. And then Eminem for Biden and let them go at it. Now that would be a debate.
Glenn says 8 Mile was actually a good flick. It was. Loved it. Loved Eminem. It was fantastic. One of the coolest moments of my life when I worked in Detroit. They had just won the NBA championship, the Pistons, in 2004. I was hired a couple weeks later when they had the ring ceremony. Because the Pistons, of taking people back to 2004, they upset the Los Angeles Lakers with no stars. It was a huge upset. And they had all these it was like Bad Boys too. And when they had the ring ceremony and raise the lights were off and fire shooting and they're playing Lose Yourself. I mean, I was like, I get chills even thinking about it. And Eminem's there and all the celebrities are there. That was a very cool moment. I liked him. But then all of a sudden he became political for whatever reason. And he's not the only musician or actor we've seen that. There are some people that just can't keep their mouths shut. They think they're cooler and smarter and better than what they really are. And this is what happens. Now we have Eminem sitting in a chair going, I get flustered. It's like he's in a home or something. Right. I get flustered.
He gets flustered because he wants to be in the home with Joe.
Well, it shows that money does not bring happiness all the time.
That's for sure.
Because
that's for sure.
You're Eminem, and clearly Donald Trump lives rent free in his brain. I get so flustered. That's right. Now you know how the Democrats feel.
Because they're all flustered. They're all flustered. And you know what? Going on Eminem, I don't blame anyone that has a platform to use it. I don't. If you're a star and you want to use it, but then we can choose not to like that platform and then listen to them. So, I mean, this is America. They have a big voice and they want to talk bad about whoever they want to talk bad about. But then if you're a star like that, you're opening yourself up to take about half of the people that would have listened to you now won't.
He grew up 8 Mile. That's why. That's the significance.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not, it's not the best place in the world. It's not North St. Louis. I mean, it just depends. There's better parts of 8 Mile than there aren't. And Eminem just hates himself. It is interesting, though. He comes out and says that. And then this happened recently. Another interesting topic, because I get so frustrated, and we do, when it comes to media. And I've been telling people for years, even before we did radio and even before we did the podcast, what ESPN was doing. ESPN is run by hardcore elite liberal people. And if you don't fall in line with ESPN's and their policies and their culture war, not sports, they're worried about culture, you'll suffer. Sage Steele went toe-to-toe with them. Beautiful biracial anchor, refused to get the cupcake and won a court case, or they settled out of court. She got suspended for ripping Barack Obama because he refused to call himself biracial, even though his black father abandoned him as a kid, and it was his white mother who raised him, and yet he called himself black, even though he's biracial. Sage Steele went toe-to-toe with ESPN. She won. She's amazing. That's what really brought how ultra-liberal elite they are. They push the transgender movement, and if you say something they don't like, they hated Aaron Rodgers being on Pat McAfee's show. We focused on that a lot. And then just here recently, Pat McAfee show again, super popular. He's ESPN's new golden child. He makes all the money, or he would have been lost. He was incancelable. Well, not Joe Rogan, but Dana White was joining his show talking about media. Check out this clip, because what happens in this blows my freaking mind. What ESPN did, they literally cut him off while he's talking about what the media does. And he's talking about how important podcasts are, what we do at canceltheshow.com, which is where we ask for support and advertisers and sponsors of anything that we can do if you like what we do, because we want to stay here. Look what happened.
What has happened to free speech? Dana White was on ESPN. They were talking about free speech in the media, and just when he was about to go on a rant and expose them, they cut him off. Just look what happens at the end of this clip.
Your relationship though with the media and the way you guys have handled everything. So just like, this is how we're doing it. Do not care. Keep it moving. Feels like you and the media are a better relationship now.
I wouldn't say
huh?
that.
Yeah,
I wouldn't say that.
Coming together. Uncle Dana.
No. Listen, you know what? If you notice, I really haven't been doing any media. I do podcasts, man. I'll do podcasts. I'll come hang with you. You know, lots of people. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Lots of people want to talk to you because you're not the media. You know, you're not coming on podcasts and people that you want to have open discussions with. There's not any gotcha moments. There's no agendas. You know, there's no clickbait and all the bullshit that goes on with the media. The media right now.
During an asthma attack?
What has happened to free?
That what in the world? They literally
cut him right off.
Cut him right off. Okay, you live in a communist country and are dealing with a communist station when that stuff happens.
Mm-hmm. Well, we are. That's what we have.
Are you freaking? The UFC is huge. It is super popular, but of course, it has also become a opportunity and a platform for Americans to speak. And guess what? They all speak about Donald Trump. They speak about the red, white, and blue. They speak about freedom. They speak about strong borders. They speak about a strong military. They speak to Americans, and ESPN hates it because ESPN is run by elite Democrat liberals. They're not like us. They're elites, and they think that they can control. What happened to just doing sports? No, they want to control the narrative and control the messaging, And that's what ESPN does.
Well, they do. And like Les is saying on YT this morning, that the White House does that to Biden too. If you notice, they cut his feed off as soon as
they do
something
it for a
said.
different reason.
They do it for a different reason.
They're doing it for protection.
That's right. That's exactly. They're doing it for protection.
Oh shit!
In
Here
both
he goes.
cases.
Oh, hit the mic.
Boom, and he's done. Hurry up. You know that they're just sitting there, Vic, and they're about ready to just, okay, here he goes. Shut it off. Or hurry up, get him off the stage. But then look at ESPN. It's similar to the same thing. They're doing it for their protection too. They don't want anybody to talk bad about them. So they're just gone. They're just done. Cut them off.
And it's interesting because Pat McAfee's show, he's now becoming more popular than that Stephen A. Smith guy.
Mhm.
And this is the second time that they have tried to interfere with the show, but Pat McAfee brings on people that he knows are going to upset the ESPN apple cart, but he doesn't care. And I love it. Once again, you have to have people who are willing to speak up, ruffle little feathers. You don't have to be a dick. You don't have to be mean. Just, be polite, but you got to be persistent, and you got to do it day after day after day after day after day, because these things continue to happen. They're trying. And by the way, it's an election year. And there's more cases coming up now and about what happened during 2020 when our speech was being, quote, suppressed online. Quotes like, remember Bass Pro Shops?
Yes.
MAGA, the FBI considering to be toxic people, that they're possible problems. That's right. If you say that, these are the kind of things that were happening. And thank God we have a House Oversight Committee bringing some of that stuff to light. Josh Hawley doing an amazing job as a senator, bringing that to light so that people understand what the hell's going on.
Right. And we have to have it brought to light, because when this all first started to happen back in 2016, 2015, people were like, are they censoring us? And we didn't know quite for sure, because you sounded like a conspiracy theorist. Now we know everything that we said back then. That's what we're doing. Our media right now is state run. It's government run. It is not open.
And we're not conspiracy theorists for saying that. I've already told you my my experiences with local news. Which is why when I got a call in the past, hey, would you want to get back into local news? I'm like, not the way it is now.
No, it would have to change a lot.
Not the way it is now. No. So anyway, these are the things that are happening over and over and over again. Pam says, love Senator Hawley. He's trying to do a lot when out there. Jay says, can't even watch Sports Center without ESPN garbage. Yeah, I know. They're really big into DEI, and they'll try to shove that down your throat. It's sad. And that's why they lost ratings. Once again, you start going woke, you go broke in a sense where this stuff happens. Same thing happened to Fox News. They treated Tucker in a certain way, and then they lost ratings. By the way, they never recovered.
Well, and Greg's got a good point. ESPN's owned by Disney.
That's right.
I mean, that
surprise,
makes
surprise.
perfect sense.
Surprise, surprise. And a lot of people on our chat line were bringing that up. They're owned by Disney, and Disney is the master of censoring anything that almost seems rational these days. I mean, you know that the media in the world has lost its mind. If the happiest place on earth, or at least that was our perception, which was Disney, that is supposed to be the place that children go and have a wonderful time, and they are a bastion of child abuse and a bastion of abnormal sexual behavior. So, I mean, of course, ESPN is going to shut people off like that. And that's sad these days that that's what we're dealing with.
It is what we're dealing with. And that's why we'll continue to point it out. We'll continue to show it. Donna says, need to flood networks with questions. Why don't they do this? Why don't they do that? If you care enough, just set up calling. If you can get people like 25 people just to continue to call, and it'll drive their freaking desk nuts. I'm just telling you, it's so simple. All it takes is a coordinated effort from about 20 people to call for like 10 minutes in shifts or sessions and let them know day after day after day. That's why I always say you've got to know what is important to you and what you're willing to stand up and do. By the way, yes, Andrew Bailey, the Missouri Attorney General, is suing the government for what they're trying to do when it comes to our social media accounts. And I know a lot of you feel like that happens to you when you're on this show.
Yes.
and things that you say over the past year that we have been doing this when it comes to that situation. From the chat line, even Fox National's coverage of Super Tuesday had a liberal left lean because of the two guest commentators. Well, I don't have a problem with them doing that as long as you have balance. Because when Fox became popular in the first place, you heard from both sides.
Well, it used
Back
to
in
be
the day,
fair
that's what
and
they did.
balanced. That's what they said.
Rob says, "Hey Vic, check out Tom McDonald. He is an artist who calls it like he sees it." Rob, I love Tom McDonald.
I do too.
I reached out to Tom McDonald for 4 months, continually following, liking everything, trying to get him on the show, and I never got a response.
Yeah.
I would love to do that. So if you know him, Rob, set him up. I love Tom McDonald. I love some of his music too. I love his story. He finally accepted being canceled. He became #1 in Canada without a production company. He did it himself. He beat the Giants. They tried to cancel him and he beat them. And then once he became #1, then they canceled him even more in Canada. And he continues to be super popular. He recently did another rap song with a guy I'm not a huge fan of, Ben.
Shapiro?
Shapiro.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that.
I'm just, yeah.
A lot of people have a hard time with Ben Shapiro. And I mean, I know a lot of people think he's very conservative, and it's not that he's not conservative. It's just that sometimes some people say his voice is hard to listen to. And I don't think he's exactly a MAGA person, because he might be on that bandwagon now, but he jumped in on that bandwagon very late because he was somebody that did not like Trump at all.
But I do see more Republicans trying to unite now under Trump.
Which is wonderful.
I hear more of that feeling when you hear people talking. Representative Stephen Scalise was on Fox News this morning talking about how there is now more unity in the Republican Party once that Nikki Haley jumped out now.
That's wonderful.
And people realize, okay, we may not like Trump's personality or things from the past, but guess what? It's him or Biden. And it's like, oh my God.
That's your two choices.
It's more of what we've got or going back to what we had 3 years ago. That's where I have an issue with Democrats. I'm like, how could you think now is better and the path that we're on is better than where we were 3 years ago, outside of your hatred for a man that your pride gets involved with?
That's right.
Because it's a pride issue when it comes to Trump derangement syndrome.
Yes.
People don't like to admit they're wrong in general. I get it. But the more you admit that you're wrong, the easier it gets. Trust me. I know. I do it. Just admit you're wrong. Hey, move on. We're all wrong.
Yeah, we're not always right all the time.
And if you want Biden, you're wrong. Even though you're allowed the opinion, I think you're wrong. And I just want facts on why. And I haven't been able to find any liberals to give me facts.
We look all the time. I ask Democrats all the time, give me facts why now is better than it was 4 years ago. And don't say because you don't like his tweets. Give me facts on the economy, on gas prices. And you know, all they can do is, well, Trump did this. Biden's having to fix all the problems Trump did. That's all they say. They can't say anything. I'm like, okay, well, give me exactly what happened. Our border's wide open. Trump didn't do that. They have no answers. They just start to name call them.
Well, nobody can deny Trump now, because even if you don't like Trump, if you're not supporting him, you're going to get railroaded. You just are. Your political career is going to be over, whether it's a good thing or a bad thing.
Right.
He owns the Republican Party. He does. And by the way, because nobody will ever give him credit, there was a push to get the RNC to pay for Donald Trump's legal bills.
Right.
And he said no.
Yeah, he didn't even want the money.
But of course, the national media, the local media, people will not tell you all the truth of those stories.
Correct.
Because they don't want you to even get the remote feeling that you might like the guy.
Well, and if you figure like Donald Trump, he didn't take his salary. He donated it to people.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah. I mean, he donated it, but they don't say anything about that. Why is Donald Trump has lost money while being in politics, while the rest of them gain money while being in politics?
According to some liberals, he made money while he was in office, though.
Right. That's what they say. They do say that, but they can't prove it.
The best part is the fact is that he was called a racist because he wanted to build a wall. Now Democrats are saying we need a wall.
That's right.
They are. We have to take care of the border. He said that illegal immigration would be a problem. He was 100% right. And of course, he is slowly but surely draining the rhino swamp.
I think in my opinion, in that, I thought for sure he could come in there. I was so naive back in 2016 thinking he's going to come in and in the first 4 years, he's going to drain it. It was so much deeper than I had any idea that it was, but he's exposed all of them now.
His sons did make money. I agree.
Yeah,
That's a good point.
Yeah, his
We try to
sons
be
make
fair about
money.
it all.
But let his sons make money. Why can't they make money? I'm glad they are. I
Yeah.
hope my
as
kids
long as they
make
don't
money.
make him the same way as Hunter Biden.
Right.
No, they're not.
They're not.
By the way,
I know,
he's having to pay back money as well. I hate talking about Hunter Biden
Mhm.
because nothing's going to happen with that situation. I'm just a
Right.
realist. It's
Mhm.
not. But it's a fact, and of course, it's out there.
Mhm.
So I can't wait to see how all this goes down. Donald Trump's ratings continue to go up. That Gallup poll also had Trump increasing his lead. He is winning. Democrats will try to tell you different things. They're losing their minds, but just expect what happens tonight is going to be a love fest for Joe Biden. It's already started.
Mhm.
Andrea Mitchell, who is lying, saying that he is doing his best ever. Joe Scarborough, Eric's show was Joe
Mhm.
Scarborough, an MSNBC morning guy, talking literally about how Joe Biden is doing a great job. Like literally, not even saying this is strong. Same thing as Andrea Mitchell. They've got to be getting paid for this. There's no way they can hate Trump that much.
Right.
No way that they would make themselves look so stupid,
Mhm.
juvenile,
Right.
asinine by saying the comments that they are.
They have to be getting paid. They really do. And we know that a lot of people are getting paid because they look asinine. That's a good word for it. They look asinine when they're saying some of these dumb things that they're saying about Donald Trump that they can't even back up. There's so many people that used to be creditable that aren't anymore. They're just not.
It happens. And we are all just here watching it all go down.
Mhm. And Megan's right. Scarborough is mental lately. He has completely lost it. He's become completely unhinged. Even the expressions when you watch his face are ridiculous. I mean, he's lost it.
Great point from the chat line. All you have to do is look at the recent elections. Rhino Republicans are losing all over America.
They really are.
And the party is slowly shifting and changing. I
Mhm.
see it as well. That's a great point.
That is a great point.
It is. That's what's happening.
Mhm.
And
It is-
Trump candidates are dominating.
They are dominating, absolutely dominating. And if you get President Trump's endorsement, more times than not, that's going to put you over the edge and that you're going to win. Look at DeSantis. We know that to be true. And the party is no longer the way of the Whigs, as they call it. The way of the people that were more stoic and kept all of the resources to themselves. Donald Trump has woke us all up, woke everybody up.
Another story. We got Nicole Jenkins coming up at 9:30. She is owner of Veterans Advantage Urgent Care, the only urgent care for veterans in the country. She got a couple of those. She's expanding to Texas. She's also part of Turning Point USA's convention and speakers bureau. She joined us last week to promote Commander Jay Furman. He was a terrific guest running for office. He won his race, by the way. So we'll get an update with her as she was part of that campaign, getting a former military guy in on the border. We saw the video of what he's been videotaping and things are happening at the border. She'll be coming up at 9:30. But another interesting topic that I was wanting to cover here too. Governor Mike Parson is drawing a lot of condemnation. It's not easy to be in political office
Mhm.
because he commuted the sentence of Andy Reid's son.
Right.
And it was from a DUI case. He permanently injured a 5-year-old girl.
Mhm.
Now, I think he'd had multiple situations in the past.
Correct.
He was drunk. It's happened back in February 2021 when he crashed his truck into 2 vehicles on the side of an exit ramp along an interstate near the Chiefs practice facility. He was a coach as well. So 6 people were injured, including a 5-year-old Ariel Young, who sustained traumatic brain injuries. He was in a coma for 11 days. Reid pleaded guilty and was sentenced to 3 years in prison. But the governor commuted that sentence on Friday, late Friday afternoon. So they're allowing him to serve his sentence under house arrest until October 2025.
So he will never really have to go to jail then?
Well, I guess he was there for a
A
while.
little bit, but now he doesn't have to finish out his term. That's what I'm understanding?
He's under house arrest. He's just not going to be in jail. He's at his home. He's doing his sentence under house arrest.
Got it.
And the Jackson County prosecutor, Gene Peters, was frustrated, said there simply can be no response that explains away the failure to notify victims of the offender.
Yeah, I don't understand that call. I mean, just
She
when
said,
you
I
think-
simply say that I'm saddened by the self-serving political actions of the governor resulting in harm this brings to the justice system.
why would he do this other than the fact he's a ginormous, our governor is a ginormous.
Yeah, and the family said that
Chiefs
they're
fan.
disgusted
Yeah,
by what happened because governors are allowed to do this, and
they
governors
are.
get
They're allowed to.
ripped for commuting and
Mhm.
not commuting sentences all the time.
Correct.
I just found it to be a serious situation that came up.
That
And
makes no sense other than what people are saying is he is a huge Chiefs fan, so he just left him off because of that. Other
State
than that, makes
Senator
no
Tony
sense.
Luetkemeyer, a Parkville Republican who chairs the Missouri Senate Judiciary and Civil and Criminal Jurisprudence Committee, posted on social media that he cannot imagine the pain this must cause the family of the victim, an innocent 5-year-old girl whose life has been changed forever. Even the Republican, Tony Luetkemeyer, said it's not justice.
It's not. I really don't understand this.
And
at
so
all.
don't anybody ever say that we're just an echo chamber, because we call out all situations. We try.
Well, and where Mike Parson is concerned, we call him out or say,
And I
he's
like him
doing
as a
good.
man. I consider him a friend. And it's not easy to be a leader.
Correct. And Mike Parson, I really didn't think that I would like him at all till I met him, because I was a huge Greitens fan and really helped get him elected. So when he was gone, I already looked at him through, like a narrow view of thinking I'm not going to like him. But I've met him now several times. I know a lot of people that work under him and says he is a good human being. He's a good man. He is legislating more quiet than say Greitens would doing, but he's doing a good job. And so if I saw him today, I would be like, Parsons, I was really just starting to get to like you. And why did you do that? Why did you do that? I don't, there's no other answer.
Ashcroft, who's currently leading, Jay
Mhm.
Ashcroft, who's currently leading, he's the GOP front runner for what it's worth.
Right.
For the next, to replace Parson, actually put out a quote as well and said it's, quote, not a good look for the governor and not something I believe I would do if I were governor.
Yeah, well, I'm glad to hear Jay say that. I'm glad, because he is the front runner and a lot of people are going to vote for him. And I think that would not be a good look for anybody that's going to come and maybe possibly take over a spot to say that what he did is good. There is literally nothing good about that. Nothing. I mean, nothing. And Donna's saying, wasn't he a police officer? I guess.
Who?
I don't know.
Reed? No.
Reed was, unless he was talking, she's talking about the governor, Governor
No,
Parson.
the governor did not give a comment after he did it
Mm.
on a Friday.
Yeah.
He's a longtime Chiefs season ticket holder who
Mhm.
attended the Super Bowl this year, celebrated with the team at its victory parade. Reed's sentencing reprieve was included among 3 commutations and 36 pardons announced late Friday afternoon by the governor's office. And then they reached out for a comment and didn't get another comment. I did see somewhere that the sentence was like that he had served what a lot of people serve for that.
Got it. Okay. And maybe that's it.
And that's where they came, and that's where their perspective was for it. If anybody else saw that, let us know. But that's one thing when I was looking at that story.
It does seem there
Because
has
it
to
is,
be.
I mean, it's getting a lot of play around
it
the
really
state. I
is.
let it marinate for a day or two, and I was
Mhm.
like, man, it's
Mhm.
still out there.
It really is.
And Governor Parsons leaving office,
Yeah.
I mean, he's not running again,
Mhm.
and he is a former sheriff.
Yeah. From Nixa, someone's saying. I knew that he was a former, sheriff, and I think he's a decent human being.
I don't
So-
know if there's more to this.
I-
I don't know. What
I don't
else
know
would there
either.
be to it? That's what I'm trying to figure out. What else would there be?
Right. And people are saying that maybe there was more to this. And I would like to know, there has to be something. Maybe there was something, like you said, that he served his time, and that's the same time other people that do serve the same amount. So he was just trying to be fair. I don't know, but I
I
think that,
guarantee he knew this would be a huge
Yes.
story, that it would be a huge controversy, especially, and not saying one life isn't better than the next life, but let's be real.
Yeah,
When it's a 5-year-old girl
that's right. No matter what
that has
decision they
brain
make,
trauma for the rest of her life,
Mhm.
yeah.
the parents probably don't care. And people are saying on the chat line that Governor Parson is a veteran who served 6 years in the U.S. Army, and he served in law enforcement for 22 years. So, I mean, you can see he's our kind of a person. I mean, he's absolutely
No,
our
we've
kind
had
of
him
a
on the
person.
show and talked to him, and so I consider him a friend. I mean,
Mhm.
it just and I like the job he's done as governor. You
Mhm.
people can say whatever they want.
No, I do too, because I think he understands legislation and he allows the good legislators to do their thing. But this one is one thing I don't understand, because I really don't. And I would love to ask him about that. I haven't called him on the phone and asked him, but he probably wouldn't answer that at this point. And he is leaving, like you said. He doesn't have another term. So he's doing what he feels is best, and probably doesn't care what anybody thinks anymore, because he's done.
Man, okay. Reed was driving over 80 in a 65 when his truck struck multiple cars that were stopped.
Mm.
Yeah, it was just
Yeah.
his blood alcohol was barely over. It was 0.113. The legal limit is 0.08, but that's over.
Yeah.
So that's what happens.
Mhm.
Yeah. So basically, he was it was a 3-year sentence. I was trying to find more information regarding where he went with that, but anyway, that's something that will be talked about, going to house arrest. And I mean, is it because it's Andy Reid's son and he's a Chiefs fan? That's
Mhm.
that's
That's what
being
I
put
think
out
it
there.
is. That's the only thing I can figure, is he's one of the biggest Chief fans of anyone that I know. And maybe that played into this. That's the only rational thing I can think of that plays into this. So I don't know. And Pam, I'm seeing, what did they do to the illegal that killed Travis? For any of you guys, I'm seeing a lot of people still really caring about
It's a big
Travis.
story.
We did talk about that at the beginning of the show, so feel free after the show to go back that, because we do think that's very tragic what happened to Travis. And there's a picture of Travis again. And basically, in the synopsis of what we said about Travis, is that he was apparently in an accident a couple months ago, and his parents were very injured too. He died of his injuries a couple weeks ago by an illegal woman. The accident happened in St. Louis County, apparently, but no one is talking about it. And I kind of went off on O'Fallon earlier, because that's where he's from, apparently, and none of our mayors are saying anything about it. And the mayors tend to be good about what happens to people in their counties, and they forward things like this. And there's a GoFundMe page. If any of you are interested, you can go to the restaurant Dirty Dogs, and they have a GoFundMe page for him. That was me going off earlier about O'Fallon and other people, is they're always forwarding things that somebody's sick or somebody's ill, but nobody picks up anything, even in St. Charles County or wherever you're from, when it has anything to do with an illegal. So that was my point.
Yeah, it brought me
going
back
off.
down. I'm like,
Yeah.
every time I see that picture, because as family
Mhm.
members, parents, you're never the same.
You're not. And it's tragic. We're talking about, 2 kids here, that one kid was critically injured when we were talking about, Parson, lowering that sentence, or not really lowering it, having it house arrest. And then you've got Travis, who he's dead. I mean, so if you go into this restaurant, as I said earlier, you will see a Dr. Pepper sitting on the table, because that little boy liked Dr. Pepper. And of course, that caused my eyes to look right away that it was a Dr. Pepper. And they have a GoFundMe account now, because the illegal, of course, had no insurance, no legal driver's license, nothing. And so their legal bills and their funeral bills are mounting and mounting and mounting. So if any of you want to help them, there is a GoFundMe page, and you can go to the restaurant Dirty Dogs out of O'Fallon.
Also, with the other story regarding Britt Reid, whose sentence was commuted by Governor Parson, Lori, and we appreciate you sharing it, Lori. Lori says, as a recovering alcoholic with past DWIs, as in plural, if the law is soft on you, you will do it again. Britt Reid did complete an alcohol class. I did read that. So I don't know if that changes it for anybody, but it is what it is. Lori also asked, was the illegal under the influence? We had no.
I don't know about
we
that.
had no.
I have no idea if the illegal. I just know that the person obviously was illegal. I don't know how they got the car. Some are saying it's stolen, but I have no proof of that. That is just hearsay. But she did not have a driver's license.
We're told, I guess it's a group, Luke's Legacy. If she was illegal, Luke's Legacy might be able to help that family as well.
Well, and Luke's
if
Legacy,
they find out.
Yeah, I know the mom. Ironically, Luke's Legacy is an organization from a mama. Her name is Angie. Her son went to school with my kids. They're Lutheran High parents, and she lost her son to a drunk driver. So she's very big in following all these stories. So that was a good tip. So we can check out to Angie. She'll know the story for sure.
Yeah, no, I know.
We'll have to have Angie on the show too.
It frustrates the heck out of me. We've got Nicole Jenkins coming up here in about 5 minutes. I wanted to bring up something when we were talking about the illegal there. We have another city now that is pleading with property owners to rent to migrant newcomers, to literally move out of your home and go somewhere, or let them rent. How do they have money? How are they going to rent? They literally want the city, Denver, talking about Denver, freaking Denver, Colorado. They want residents to house illegal migrants because they're closing their shelters to save $60 million. Once again, Joe Biden will not address that tonight, or he'll lie. This is a big deal. Denver's now asking after we've seen all these cities ask residents, New York, Boston, Chicago area, Naperville, asking residents, and nobody houses them. All these bleeding heart liberals don't want to house them. And now Denver's asking residents to house migrants.
That just blows my mind.
But they're illegals.
They call them the unhoused and all those other little fancy words and all those things. But they're not going to take any in. But Vic, they would want you to do it.
Well, of course.
But they're not doing it. Of course they're not doing it. Do they? I mean, they must really think people are stupid. Sure, I'm going to invite this person over from Venezuela or whatever that they just lent out from the prisons and the mental institutions. And they're coming
And that
over
is a
here.
fact, by the way.
That is a fact. And it is a fact, too. Venezuelan government won't take them back.
That's another fact.
So, I mean, that tells you everything you need to know about that. So, I mean, but they don't even want them back.
Yeah.
They sent these nasty.
The White House
over.
has extra rooms. That's what
Yes.
Trisha said.
Yeah, good idea, Trisha. Let's send them all to Joe Biden's house.
Now, when you first started the story, you said property owners. Now, there's a difference between having people come stay in your home with you and if you own property, to take them as priority over citizens.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
And that is
Whatever,
a good
yeah.
point, Joe. That's a really good
And then
point.
I said, well, how do they have money to purchase?
That's
well, yeah,
right.
there's that. Well, they're getting all the money from the government, remember?
Ah.
They're getting so many, so
Maybe they want to go to Ukraine.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I agree with Carlene. Let's send them all to Ukraine. Let's send them
I
all.
like that. That's a great.
I love that's the best quote of the day. But you're probably right, Joe. That could be two ways to look at this. Bring them in your house, or if you're a property owner and you have some empty property, let them stay there and the government will pay them. Either way, that is who would want the illegals. A lot of them are so unlawful, and they are. I'm not going to call them all evil, but you know that they don't know how to follow rules. And they're going to come there, they're going to bang the hell out of your house. They're going to ruin it. They're not going to pay their bills. They're not going to pay any of it. And then what is the government?
Good luck getting your rent.
That's right. Good luck getting your rent. And is the government going to pay to fix that house up? They might pay the rent, but after they beat it up, are they going to pay to fix it back up?
And then you got to think about squatters' rights, because once they're in there, it's hard to get them out.
It's very hard to get them out. Once they get one piece of mail, in most states, you can't get them out. You have to fight. It takes years. We had that happen to us.
As a homeowner, you don't really have a lot of rights, right?
You have no
so if you're
rights.
renting to somebody and they don't pay or they can't pay,
You have no rights
they can stay there for how long?
for as long as the court system has. So and usually you have almost a year. So if you have a squatter that comes into your house, it will take quite a while to just go through to get an eviction. And that could take 6 months. And then after the eviction, they almost give you 6 more months to get out. So the only person that has the rights are the squatter or the tenant, but the property owner has no rights. You as a homeowner, I tell my kids this, be careful if you move in a friend or a boyfriend or a girlfriend because they get one piece of mail. You can't get them out.
Think of how overwhelmed the court system is going to be with the illegals, because
Correct.
the court system is going to be backed up. So, it's going to take even longer.
Robert says, just hire an illegal bouncer to throw them out. Then you plead the fifth.
I love it.
Also,
I love it.
interesting. you would think that housing and illegal would be illegal, like a business hiring an illegal. It makes no sense. It makes no sense whatsoever.
No, it
It
really doesn't.
sounds like a bunch of crap. It sounds like a bunch of what, Joe? It sounds like a bunch of
Abortion?
yeah, exactly.
It really does.
That's exactly what it sounds like.
Yeah. I mean, that's like the favorite word of the day. You just watch any media, you listen to Joe Biden, you listen to any Democrat. You last night, as we started the show off, you were talking about meeting with Kaysen last night, and all you heard out of his mouth was bullshit, bullshit. So, I mean, I wish that you could sit with the Democrat these days and they made any sense.
Renting is a risky business.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I hereby identify as an illegal, and then your problem is solved, is what Roland said. We had numerous properties back in the day that we rented out. I don't want to be a landlord ever again because we had no rights. We had so many people not pay their bills and then wreck the house, and we had to take them to court to get them out.
Is it kind of part of being an owner of a home?
Yeah, it is definitely part of being an owner. You have a big risk, and you can vet them. I mean, you can vet them, but then they say one thing and then do another, and then they get into your house and then they don't ever come out. We had just as many bad runners as we did good. So.
Things are going to get even worse.
Oh yeah. We haven't seen
the
yet.
only way that even this remotely changes is if Donald Trump is president. And I think if you really have an honest conversation with yourself, whoever you are, I know most of the viewers and listeners have shared viewpoints that they agree that Donald Trump is the answer, but my God, there are people out there that actually think Joe Biden is better for our country. That this path that we're on is a good path. That he is their answer. That's why I said I have officially started to question this mind process, because I know Democrats who don't like Biden, but they hate Trump, and I appreciate them being honest about it. But I also know guys that were Democrats who have now changed over and said, oh my God, they're honest and say, we can't have Joe Biden in there again. I don't like Trump, but my God, his policies are good. I don't like him as a man, but this is worst case scenario.
Yeah.
But his policies were good. I'm like, those are the honest people. Those are the people that you have to love. Okay. Yeah. It makes sense. And it says socialist love socialism. That's why.
That's right.
Well, after his sleepy, forgetful speech tonight, they may flip. No, I think his speech will be good. I do, because it's being promoted. This is a highlight for Joe Biden. He's going to be basic. And if he gets through, because the bar has been lowered so bad, he'll be talked about as being, oh, he's a good speaker. He did it. He had the speech of a lifetime. I can already hear him, MSNBC, just lying.
They're going to make sure he's all coked up tonight.
Well, whatever it takes, whatever it takes, pop him out there. Let's see what he's got going. These are the things that are very, very concerning. This is canceltheshow.com, Monday through Friday, 8 to 10 a.m. Central, and all the time on our website, canceltheshow.com. Of course, Vic Faust, Lizzie Sparks, Pro Joe in the house. Hey, by the way, you can check out our merchandise on our page as well, canceltheshow.com. We have a merch page where we have hats, we have shirts, we have cups, we have Cancel This Coffee. We have all kinds of things that you can purchase for yourself, for your friends, for your family, for your favorite Democrat. Whatever the case, you can get them all this stuff. A lot of really cool things there. Also, it helps us as well as we continue to try to get some of that stuff. People have gotten their product already. We are grateful for that. You can also check out all of our partners on our partners page as well. The partners page, we appreciate it. I mean, we talk about our partners. You can go down the list of people. Amini's in the Chesterfield Valley, Complete Auto Body Repair. They're going to be coming back on as an advertiser here in the next month or so. Experienced Real Estate Partners. Hey, by the way, it's the season of windows, and by the way, Renewal Anderson, we hadn't promoted them in a while. We do have a partnership with Renewal, and we have a link there. You literally click on Contact Sponsor, book consultation. It's free. You can see how you can improve value to your home and also lower your energy bills. and it's very affordable. Renewal by Anderson. On our website, canceltheshow.com, you click under the partners page. Also, Route 66 Cannabis, Strategic Air Services, where we broadcast live out of the Chesterfield Valley, of course. WeQuipUSA.com, where you can rent items that you don't own, or you can go on there and rent items to other people. And of course, our favorite, Wenty's in the Chesterfield Valley. Ben and Marlett and crew taking care of business there. Once again, cancel the show. Vic Faust, Lizzie Sparks, Projo in the house here Monday through Friday, 8 to 10 a.m. Central. News headlines, politics, cancel culture, education. Tomorrow, Kelly's in, Eric's in. We'll have some fun with that. By the way, you saved some stuff because we got Kelly Mano tomorrow.
I did.
And the reason, even I saw Kelly last night as she was taping her show. If you haven't seen Kelly's show, we also produce the Kelly Mano show out of her new media group here. That's live each week, and that's doing quite well, as we're not surprised with that. But you took her out Friday night, or you guys went out with her Friday night. And so we got pictures and things for tomorrow?
I do. We have pictures and things, and even some video where I was her wingman, and it's quite funny.
What do you mean her wingman? And trying to pick up dudes?
Yeah, try to pick up dudes.
You were picking up dudes?
Well, she'll tell you I'm the only one that did pick up the dudes. That's her saying it. That's not my words. That's Kelly's words. Kelly will be the one to tell you that.
She was talking about it last night on her show.
Yeah. She talked.
Really?
Yeah. Well, when you don't give a shit and you go in there and, I'll talk to anybody, and I was asked out. I wasn't even in the door 20 seconds and I was asked out, and she's like, shit. But I don't want to spoil it all because her telling it is much more funny than I was, but I was supposed to be there to be her wingman, and I kept getting picked up and she didn't. But what is so interesting about that is I kept her out a lot longer than she had. I introduced her to Bahama Mamas, and she probably didn't even get to bed till after midnight. She saw
that's late for her.
That it was, and we had an absolute hoot, and she's just as funny, when you're hanging out as a friend. And she got to see a side of Eric she had never seen. So it was a hoot. I'm sorry. It was a whole hoot.
And she enjoyed Helen so much. She's going back this weekend.
She is going back. Yeah. Helen's was very good for her. I thought it was literally one of the friendliest places I too had been. You know how you go to places and sometimes the bar women are jealous or mean. We were sitting with people we didn't even know. We were talking to people we didn't even know. We didn't find one mean person there. They were very nice. So I'm not surprised. So I think that's going to be her new place. So on the weekends, if you ever want to see Kelly, that's where she's going to go. And eventually she is going to get a guy, because it wasn't the guys didn't like her. There were definitely guys that liked her. It was just how she acted back towards the guys, because that's why nobody picked her up, because there was people interested in her. It wasn't that they weren't. So,
well, blondes have more fun, according to Troy.
Well,
so maybe that was get her a blonde wig or something, or she can dye her hair blonde and have more fun.
It could be. It could be. But it was also when people would look at her, and I'll show you pictures tomorrow. It was literally how she would react when a guy would think she was cute. There's a different side of Kelly I had never seen too, because how she acts so bold and so out there.
Yeah,
she's actually a very shy person.
Lizzie got game.
So yeah, she is very shy. So her persona on her show is who she is. But when she doesn't know you, she's very shy, very, very shy. So when a guy would even come up and talk to her, I'll show you pictures. I mean, she put her hand over her face and she'd act really shy. It was almost like being in junior high again. So it was interesting.
Well, it has been a while since she's dated. So.
Absolutely. And it was like, and I mean, it's been a while for me too, but I wasn't trying to look for a date. So I think when you're trying to look for a date, you come off as being
desperate.
Yeah.
You give off that aura.
I think so. And I have been with the same guy since I was 15. So he didn't care what I was doing there. He didn't care. Maybe if I brought home a guy, he would have been a little upset about it, but
you think? I don't know. He's a pretty nice guy. He's sharing guy. You did live in Winghaven, home of the swingers.
Right,
so I don't know what your past is. I've never asked. But
that's right.
Hey,
well, we're not swingers. I'll give you that. But
you would strike me as a swinging couple,
would you
though.
really?
Yeah. If I didn't know about your good Christian ideals and faith, you guys would kind of, yeah.
Well, apparently we give off that vibe because
You
we lived
do.
in Swing Haven.
You're the wild, crazy one, and Dave's like the professor with the glasses. In the
That's really
background.
true. But it was like some guy in Swing Haven came up with a book and even said, "Oh, would you like to be in the book?"
Oh my God.
And I'm like,
Here
"Yeah,"
we
but
go.
I thought it was an address book. So I get in the book. So we were actually briefly in the Swing Haven address book.
Somebody get me a copy of that.
And but then you know what is interesting when I realized that's what it was totally, I mean, that's another whole story we don't even need to get into, but we moved after that because I'm like, I can't grow up where all these people think we want to sleep with them and stuff. So we put our house up for sale and moved. And now I've run into a bunch of these couples and none of them are married anymore.
Well, yeah, no joke.
Shocker there. Yeah.
Robert says taken gives off a frequency.
Okay.
Looking also gives off an attraction.
Yes.
A flight frequency.
Uh-huh.
And pheromone.
Robert is our
he's not wrong because
Robert is our resident
he's not wrong.
New Age information.
Right. I think that's true because I had a ring on. I obviously don't have a problem talking to anyone. And Kelly, this is really the first time she went out like looking for guys. But at least I know her type now.
Don't be desperate.
I know her type. So I figured it took me a while to figure out exactly who her type is. Now I've got her type down.
Yeah, you don't want to you don't want to ever be desperate. And it's almost like when you stop caring is when things happen.
That's right. That's right. I would agree with that. Because when you can walk in and not care if any guy thinks you're cute or whatever, which is, I guess, the aura I was putting off because I didn't care one way or the other if somebody came up and talked to me. But then I also, if she would say to me, "Oh, wow, he's kind of good looking over there," I will walk right up to him and just start talking to them. And then she would act shy and ask them where they were from and all this kind of stuff. And then
it is interesting because somebody says, yeah, when I was married, that's when I was chased the most.
I can see that. I can see that because you give off a presence of I'm not looking for anyone and it's more lighthearted, I think. So, and Gary was asking what's her type. It's literally exactly what she said her type is. A guy doesn't have to be tall, but taller than her, a little
which is
beefy.
Almost all of America.
Yeah. So, I mean, she leaves the door open. And where we were at Helen's, a lot of them were her type, which would be like kind of a beefier kind of a guy with a beard, typically wore some sort of a hat, like not a cowboy hat, but a ball. And a lot of the people there were blue jeans. It was a big plus if they had cowboy boots.
None of them had a fish in their hand though.
No, none of them had a fish in their hand. So that was good. No fishies. No
okay.
Fishies. But her telling the story, I don't want to say as much. Yes. And you're right, Dawn. And a dad belly, she is attracted to dad bellies. So if they had, and camo was a plus, like she'd probably like that. I should have waited to wear this camo thing till tomorrow because she is a camo girl. So a guy in camo, that was a biggie to her.
Hey, did you guys hear about the $24 bill for one person? I'm trying to remember what the hamburger place was. I saw it.
No.
Yeah, I saw it on Fox News today. I want to cover that before we get out. I don't know if we're going to have Nicole today or not.
Sounds like Shake Shack.
Shake Shack.
Oh my God. Yeah. What is that place? I was looking for it. It was a big hamburger bill. And with all of the inflation that we're
Five Guys?
It was Five Guys.
Yeah, people on the chat are saying Five Guys. Yeah. What was up with Five Guys? Like everybody was on social media.
I mean,
going crazy for
$24 bill.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but I can make a better burger than that.
I only went one time and the burger was fine. It was very, very good, but it was costly. It was so expensive. So I haven't been back.
Well, it went viral. People are calling it highway robbery because somebody posted a $24 bill. That's insane. When you go there, because their prices, one person, $24. I mean, literally burgers, fries, and I'm assuming they got some sort of drink. The order total came up to $21.91 with tax. The buyer added, and this is another thing, brand new polling, 76% of Americans say that tipping has gone way out of control.
It is out of control.
So this person tipped $2.19. So they tipped, they tipped 10%, bringing the grand total to $24.10. Because I'm at a point now, if I do get something, like the only place that I'll ever go is Qdoba.
Okay.
I like rice, chicken, guacamole. Very easy.
Yep.
Very easy. Maybe sometimes a little bit of cheese. I almost feel guilty. Like the last time I did that, like they're standing there. I'm like, can they see the tip? can they see?
When they turn it around, like,
but anytime I've ever done that, they've never they've never said thank you.
I don't think they see it until you turn it around.
It's a bad concept.
It is a bad.
They got to figure it out. So anyway, the tipping and then the $24. So the guy said I was expecting my bill to be maybe $12 to $15.
Yeah,
but $22 for a hamburger and fries and a drink.
that's crazy. I mean, it really is. I mean, that's absolutely bizarre.
Go to Shake Shack. It's much better.
Shake Shack is really good. They got really good shakes. And they're pricey too, though, but not as pricey as
Right.
Five Guys.
And if you have a peanut allergy, you can't go into Five Guys because they make their
Oh.
fries
Right.
with peanut oil.
Okay.
I think
I
they do
learned that with a child really fast.
Don't they
Okay.
do that with it? Chick-fil-A also peanut oil.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Don, a great point. I do appreciate that people work in those places for our benefit. Yeah, no doubt about it. But I'm just saying, if you're going to add the element of tipping, you have to add the element where they can see it and thank you
Correct.
if you do tip them.
Correct.
So
You
that we
wanna-
all get a freaking idea, because there's nothing's going to piss me off for a lot of people more than you tip and everybody's and they don't know and they don't say anything
right.
or they don't say thank you. And then what it becomes is it's another transaction where your price is actually gone up $2.
Mhm.
So you're paying $2 more because you're tipping, but they're not appreciative of it.
Right.
And if they don't know, then they're not going to be appreciative of it.
Correct. You want to tip in cash anyway, if you can, because
And prices are expensive everywhere
They
with
really are.
everything. And that's Biden's America.
well, and the tipping thing got out of hand also during the pandemic. Because prior to that, I never even thought about tipping somebody at McDonald's or tipping somebody at Five Guys. When I do tip, I am definitely a very good tipper. But then all of a sudden it was like you even walk up and you get an ice cream cone or you get a pretzel or whatever it is. Even when you go down to America's Center for volleyball, they ask you to tip. When you went and you picked out your pretzel and you picked out your soda, they didn't even do anything. And then you come up and you just cashier out and they want to tip.
This is a good topic. Nicole is on a military base right now because she's making her rounds and the Wi-Fi isn't working
That makes sense. That makes sense.
on the military base down in the, I think it's in Texas somewhere. But anyway,
Good for Nicole. She is doing such good things right now. She's going to military bases. She's speaking on behalf of Americans. And I would have loved to have heard from her today, but what she's doing is really
oh
important.
my God, yeah, thank you for saying that. You do that so well. Dawn says my son works at the One in O'Fallon. I guess it's a Five Guys. He had a gentleman who asked, "Are you kidding me?" A gentleman wanted a shake with bacon and jalapenos.
Oh my.
So my son made it and he loved it.
Oh, well, there you go.
So what kind of, would that be a vanilla shake with? Certainly vanilla, right? Vanilla,
I don't know.
jalapenos, bacon,
You could do chocolate.
or would you do chocolate? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, yeah.
I don't know about that.
At
I don't
Five
know.
Guys, went in for a shake at Five Guys with bacon and jalapenos.
That's interesting. Huh.
You know, there's I follow this Good Mythical Morning on YouTube, and I watch, and that's all they do is make they do a bunch of other stuff, but they make like these concoctions. Like that sounds like something that they would have made on their show.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. They have tip jars at car washes. People at the car washes make pretty good money when they have activity. I know
Yeah.
that from my son and his friends. They made a lot of money at the waterways and those types of places. Abe says, no, tipping was for servers that made less than minimum wage and relied on tips. That's not the case anymore, especially with minimum wage and higher hourly rates.
Yeah, exactly.
Government needs inflation for many reasons, including they pay as we go Social Security, according to Robert. Interesting when people start talking about that. I saw an ad for a chocolate bacon shake. I would try it.
I would try it. I've never had one.
If I
but
could eat bacon every day of the year, I
Me
would eat
too.
bacon every day of the year.
Me too.
It's my favorite food.
Chocolate and bacon. I've never had them together, but I love both.
I
of those
have.
things.
I've had chocolate covered bacon.
And is it good?
Mhm.
I've had sugar coated bacon, but not chocolate covered bacon. It
Mhm.
sounds delicious.
Every year, somewhere around here, I think it's in Cottleville, something they do what's called Bacon Fest, where they have a bunch of local bacon,
Mhm.
people who produce bacon or whatever, but they also have chocolate covered bacon, candied bacon, just all
Mhm.
kinds of.
Gary says you pick up a pizza and they expect a tip. Really? I don't know about that.
They do. It's like you go into most places.
Chris says I don't tip unless it's a restaurant or my local coffee shop and I ask them to do something special. That's what would make sense. And that's according to the new study. 76% of Americans say tipping's now gone overboard.
Yeah, it has. It has. For sure. For sure. And I think being a good tipper is important, but my gosh, it's gotten so out of hand. When you go and you pick all your own stuff out and all you do is go to the cashier and they turn it around and look at you like, are you going to tip there?
Okay, here we go. Chocolate covered potato chips are yummy.
Oh,
One
that
of the
sounds
favorite
good
treats I've
too.
ever had, because if you're a person like sweet and
I
salty,
do.
You're not going to find anything better.
Wow, I bet that's good.
The Bacon Bourbon Festival in Columbia, Missouri, according to Dawn, is one of those as well. Paul says also look at your recipes because there's a lot of restaurants putting additional charges on it on top of the tips as well.
Yeah, they do.
Because people are in a hurry. Americans are just, we'll zip around, do this, do that. But all you have to do is go out and you'll see that. I'm not surprised to see that it was $24. I don't know what part of the country it was in, but it was bad. I'm trying to find that again. The order was in... Yeah, I couldn't find where the order came from. It was just a story that
be
was
anywhere
published in the Wall Street Journal. $24 for a burger, fries, and a drink. Just think if you had 2 or 3 kids and you went there. I mean, you're paying over $100 for 5 guys.
Yeah.
You'd be paying about 5 guys. I mean, $100.
I don't know how people do it these days because I know we have 5 children. But
by the way, also real quick,
Mhm.
local. This is the highest prices as I've ever been at fast food places.
yeah, for sure. Wendy's is out of control. It's out
I'm
of
sorry, I didn't mean to
control.
interrupt you. What were you
No,
saying?
that's okay. All 5 of our kids aren't home anymore. So often we're just buying for 1 or 2 kids because when we all go out to eat, sometimes my husband will pay the whole bill, but most of the time our adult kids pay for themselves. I don't know how we would be making ends meet now if all 5 of our kids were at home. I really don't.
It's
I
tough.
it would be really rough.
Well, here's a reason not to go to your favorite place, Chick-fil-A.
Mhm.
They're the highest. They have increased their prices by almost 22%
Yeah,
in the last year and a half.
It's really expensive to go to
my
Chick-fil-A.
God.
It is. It is really expensive. I mean, it's still God's chicken, but I bought it for my granddaughter the other day and I'm like, damn, this is high. But she's, and they do, I think you're right. They do put something addictive in their stuff.
Of course they do.
Because you could eat.
We already have the evidence.
Yeah. I mean, their macaroni and cheese, she can tell the difference. So we tried that over the weekend, put regular Kraft macaroni and cheese and then put Chick-fil-A on the same plate. And she knew exactly which one to take.
Well, hell yeah.
Mhm.
She's smart.
Yeah, she is.
I mean, that tastes good. I'm going to do that there.
It does.
So we've got Nicole Nicole's moving on so we'll have her next week.
Great.
Tomorrow, Eric Kelly Mano in house. We've also got in the first hour, it's going to be like 8:20, be like a 25 minute segment where we're going to talk with the Cardinal Ritter Prep high school student class again and Mark Kaysen, who's their teacher, as they watch the speech tonight. And of course, they all love Obama. They love Biden. And they love everything that's with this administration. They're the same people that want to go to the border and help all those poor newcomers assimilate into American life. And none of them want to give them their house, though.
No, they don't. They don't. And they don't want to have to go back.
And they don't
to
know
public
where they're going to
school.
go and live, but it sounds good to them. It makes them feel good. Bleeding heart liberal.
Well, and look at their teacher. Their teacher's telling them to think that.
So we'll have that conversation tomorrow. Then, of course, the 9 o'clock hour will be a whole lot of fun as we do on Fridays. The free for all, anything goes Friday. So we appreciate you guys. We try to bring it every day. We love what we do. We appreciate you guys jumping in. We love that you guys are a part of it. If you guys have ideas, sponsors, advertisers, donations, you can let us know. Vic@Lizzie.com. Vic@Lizzie.com. Vic at cancel. Vic at canceltheshow.com.
People already think I'm the boss of the show.
Lizzie at canceltheshow.com. Crystal at canceltheshow.com. And then
can we change it to that?
We have donation
Vic
page there as well.
I like that.
It works for me.
Oh,
have an awesome day, everybody. Love, we appreciate it. That does it for Cancel This, the fastest 2 hours in podcasting. We'll catch you tomorrow.